We want to dispense the reading of the minutes.
I'm going to dispense with reading the minutes.
Moved by Mr. Fontenot, second by Mr. Guidry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carried. Okay. We have a public hearing before. Yeah, we need a motion to hold a public hearing before this meeting.
We have a public hearing on the enlarging of the eastern bond, City of Rayne.
Been moved by Mr. Babineau, second by Mr. Busey. All in favor?
There's no vote.
Okay. Okay, we want to consider adoption of ordinance 1084, and it's enlarging the eastern boundary of the City of Rayne along East Jeff Davis to Lama Road. By adopting that road and annexing it, it allows us to enter into an agreement for future agreements with the state concerning some road transfer credits and resurfacing of that road, to Lama Road. Actually, it's from Lisa to Lama. So that's what we, you have any questions?
That's in the order.
Yeah, it's a new area. We're working on the road transfer project from the boulevard to Lisa, and that's where it stops, and it's just a little bit further, and we can get all new pavement there and get some additional road transfer credits that we can use for future drainage and road repairs throughout the city. That'll help hold us out until the resurfacing, probably in 2021 or 2022. So we just need to know if you want to adopt it. Anybody in the audience has anything to say about it? Wants to talk about it? Or has any questions? Moved by Mr. Fontenot.
To close the public hearing, we need a motion to close.
Yes, okay. It's been moved by Mr. Fontenot and second by Mr. Ducey. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Okay, number 5, we need to take from the table what we've done on July 13, 2015 meeting, that ordinance 1084, enlarging eastern boundary of the City of Rayne.
We need a motion.
So we need a motion. Moved by Mr. Ducey, second by Mr. Guidry. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carry. Okay, now we need to adopt ordinance number 1084, enlarging eastern boundary of the city. And behind tab 1, you'll find that ordinance, if you want to look it over, if you have any questions.
I'm moving with one, continue.
Been moved by Mr. Fontenot, second by Mr. Babineau, to adopt ordinance 1084. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes carry. Okay, behind tab 2, you're gonna see we're gonna introduce ordinance number 1085. It's adopting an operating budget of revenues and expenditures for the fiscal year beginning October 1st. We're gonna introduce it, we're not gonna actually
We
adopt
just
it.
need a motion.
We need a motion for that from October 1st, 2015 and ending September 30th, 2016.
It's not done, we just found
Yeah. that's
it. Just needs a lot of
introduce.
energy. So,
That's for our next meeting.
Ken?
Move on.
He offered the orders, that's all he needs.
We don't need a vote on it.
Nope.
Okay. Also, behind, let's see, we go to the motion for public hearing, September 14th, 2015 at 6 p.m. It's ordinance, to introduce ordinance 1085. That's still behind tab 2.
That's a public hearing for the motion.
Yeah. So we need a motion for that.
I move we have a public hearing on the budget on September 14th.
Okay. It's been moved by Mr. Babineau, second by Mr. Ducey. We don't vote on that.
Yeah.
Right.
Yes, you
We do?
You do.
Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes carried. Okay, behind tab 3, we want to introduce ordinance 1086, amending the City of Rayne's 2014-2015 budget. We're going to introduce that. So we need a motion.
What, an introduction?
Introduction.
Budget for 1086
It's been moved by Mr. Ducey.
Introduced.
Introduced by Mr. Ducey. Okay, behind tab 3F, we did that?
No, we need a
Motion, we need a motion for public hearing September 14th, 2015 at 6 p.m. for ordinance number 1086. It's been moved by Mr. Guidry, second by Mr. Ducey. We vote on that one. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes carried. Okay, behind tab 4, y'all note, it's still on the table, laid on table July 13, 2015 meeting. It's ordinance number 1083. It's an ordinance calling for the closing of the railroad crossing located on Parkerson Street. And we're still in limbo on that. I have a call in and a letter into the railroad. We're trying to negotiate a value. So it's still, we're deadlocked on that. So there's nothing happening there. So we don't need to vote on that. So number 6 is resolutions. There's nothing. Number 7, new business. Behind tab 5, you're gonna see, under A, you're gonna see a street drive by Sisters of A&O. They wanna do a street drive. And that one is, the street drive is gonna be Highway 90 at Texas Avenue. Highway 90 is Oak Street. And the event is October 2nd, which is a Friday, from 4 to 7. And Saturday, the 3rd, which is 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. And they want to have a street drive. Miss Christina Jolivet has asked for that.
I move that they accept and hang out the street drive for Sisters of A&O.
Been moved by Miss. It's been moved by Ms. Minix and second by Mr. Babineau. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Ayes carried. Okay. We have behind tab 6, we have a request by Mr. Bryan Domain concerning trucks parking on Louisiana Avenue. Mr. Domain sent a letter in to us, and he says he wants to stop truck parking on Louisiana Avenue in Rayne, Louisiana, across from Bullets and Bowls area. So he sent that into the council. Is Mr. Domain here? You want to come up, Mr. Domain, and tell us what's the problem? There's a podium right here if you want to come up and address the council and
I'd like to introduce myself by saying I'm Bryan Domain. On the 28th of July, come in for work. I didn't have a ride from Frog City, so I said, well, I'm gonna park on Louisiana Avenue. It's close to my house, and I'll just walk home. It was about 4:30 that afternoon, I get called, and I said to myself, I knew what it was about. So he said, Carly Davis, he's in here. He said, you don't mind moving your truck my truck getting out the shop. I like my trucks at all.
Carly Davidson where?
But yeah,
Where? Prove it. I ain't never came up here. Prove it.
so I said, okay, I'll move it. Later on that night at 12:30, I get another phone call from my supervisor saying, you have to move your truck. I said, what reason? You in their parking spot on Louisiana Avenue. They got a truck right there right now, Ford truck. They're using about 200 borderline of bullets and bolts. You don't want nobody there. So I said, all right. I told my supervisor the next day, I said, what gives you the intentions on calling me at 12:30 at night to move a truck 10 foot? He said, well, the guy mentioned a tow truck.
Who truck it is? You or your superintendent?
Whatever, the supervisor.
Where did he advise you to park his truck?
Didn't matter.
Where you been to parking the truck?
Didn't matter.
Yeah, it matters. Where was you been to
So
parking
I
his
said-
truck? That's where the problem came. The man did not want his truck parked there.
Never told me that.
Well, why you got fired for that?
Wait, let him talk and then we're gonna let you
Okay.
talk too, because it's only fair.
So I said, no problem. I'll move the truck. So I moved back 10 foot. The next day I talked to the chief. He's right there. He can correct me if I'm wrong. I said, came in from work, parked it on Louisiana Avenue, 4:30 in the afternoon. Said I got asked to move twice. First time I moved, second time, I said, it's got to be something I can do about this. It's not their parking. Lane don't have nothing to do with that. He said, since he started, we're gonna finish it. From that day, that gave me the motivation to be right here today. Because I had never spoken to maybe 10 people. I talked to Chuck, he can verify that. He said, you should have never moved, no matter what the circumstances was. I had the truck in my position. I've been working for the company prior 6 months before that. Never had no problem. For him to call me at 12:30 at night, he said, the guy mentioned the tow truck. He said, I'm not gonna risk spending $550 on something that was some nonsense that I could avoid it. Went to Chuck, told Chuck the situation. From there, I talked to the council members. All of them, I think except 2. Mentioned to Chuck about the oil that was there, the oil spots. I was driving a brand new truck, 2015. Peterbilt done all my maintenance. Prior to that, I pulled 2 trailers for him. Didn't have no registration, no insurance.
Boy,
And I didn't get.
Boy, you can't lease a truck without that.
I
You don't
didn't
know what
get.
you talking.
He had 2 bulk packs that I pulled for Lafayette that I didn't get. Inspection sticker expired. So they're using that parking for the wrong reason. They're using it for storage, not parking 8 hours and going to do what you have to do. I understand they've been there 4 years. I've been living in Rayne all my life. Whatever friction this is gonna cause, I'm gonna deal with it. It didn't pay for me to go get 50 people and wear my shirts and say, come stand behind me for something that didn't happen. If you're not a truck driver, it ain't gonna pertain to you because you don't use the parking. 4 years ago, there was a new mayor elected and a new councilman in our district. So maybe y'all have some new ideas about what's going on.
Well, we have to follow the ordinances. We have to follow the law. They have been there an extended period of time, and we need to hear their side, and we'll let the council decide what's the outcome gonna be. I mean, there's always 3 sides to every story. Yours, theirs, and the truth. I mean, we hear what you're saying, and I agree with you that, possibly it was unfair, but on the other hand, it's city property. And Mr. Daigle's done some research. We're gonna let him tell the council what he's found concerning the research of the ordinances we have in place. So,
And I want to add another thing. no matter what y'all decide, I was told it's first come, first served. It's not gonna stop me from being there. They got me to move there once, but I'm in a truck. Just because I separated from that job, it was 30 minutes I was working again. The only thing they caused me was separation on the job. That was it.
That's it. Thank you, Mr. Domain.
Thank you.
Mr. Davis, y'all want to address the council?
No, I don't really have nothing to say, man. That just, everything he said was not the truth. I mean, he came back nothing. And matter of fact, if he can say 4:30 afternoon, man, I never seen none of you guys' faces. I never came to nobody. I went to him personally and asked him. I didn't tell him to actually move the truck. I said, if you don't mind, it's not my property, but we've been parking there a maximum of 10 years. Everybody got their little spot. I have paper from Bullets and Bulls, Lane, and the other residents. If it was parked in your front door, I would have understand I'd have been moved it if it was bothering you coming in and out with the trucks, but that was not the case. Everybody else okayed it. I've been there for 10 years.
Y'all been there a long time.
A long time. I addressed him twice. Matter of fact, I'm on 24-hour call, so I got ready to go to work one day. He took his personal truck and jammed me in. Called me on the road. Man, I'll be right back. I'm lying?
Yeah, but
I'm lying? Oh, hold up. Am I lying? Well, I can say I can verify it. He blocked me in. Okay, so I let that slide. I missed a run over that. I came back. He put the truck direct center of where everybody else parked that been parking there for years. I went to him and asked him, I said, man, if you don't mind, we made room. I pulled my truck way farther up. I said, I made room, pull your truck up where everybody can park. I said, I don't have no problem with you parking there. It's not my problem. We'll make room for you. The next morning, we was by my brother just sitting under the tree just chatting. Mr. Carroll pulled up with some papers. Unannounced. I didn't know what that was about. Domain signing a complaint saying y'all have to move y'all trucks. I mean, that was just that simple. All he had to do was move it up. Nobody told him to move it up, make room, and that was it. He took it in his own hands and made a big deal out of it.
Y'all been there long, I know that. Mr. Davis, can you address the council as to your findings?
Excuse me, Mark, before you say something, I see Miss Angela Bouchard, her
Yes.
husband parked here also.
Almost 2 years now.
You have something to say?
Yeah, I talked to Bullet and Bose, my 2 neighbors, each on side of me, and they have no problem. And you know, when they get out their trucks, they pick up their trash and everything, as long as we keeping it clean and safe for everybody else, you know. They don't have a problem with it.
I just didn't want to know.
Okay.
I didn't know everybody that parks there. I know that.
Why I didn't know either. I just got some.
I live right across.
You live right across the street from there?
Yeah, 114 West Louisiana Avenue. And my husband parks his truck there.
And to jeopardize my business ain't nothing right, man. Dude, I go get every paper for everything I own up there. And they all paid for it. So that registration, insurance, that ain't true. Trust me.
Anybody else?
I know they said it was Miss Reshore and
Mr. Domain, he brought the paper, and I spoke to Mr. Davis already. Is there anybody else?
That was just a signature from Bullets and Bulls and everybody.
I know that.
I know that the guy at Bullets and Bowles called me and said he was sending a letter. He didn't give the letter to me, but he said he was sending a letter.
This is a letter of approval from the neighbors that live there.
Mark, you want to tell the council what your findings are? And
I got a call from the mayor and asked me to research what the city ordinances were in this topic. We do have an ordinance, 74-6, which is trucks prohibited on certain streets. And we have a list of streets that are approved as truck routes, which I went through the ordinance and I mapped them out to show which ones are considered truck routes. Now, the only one that's not being shown there is 7th Street because it's not an ordinance, but it is marked as a truck route for the rice mills. And I think right now they're using 4th Street temporarily, if I understand right, because of the work that's going on Southbreaker Road. Louisiana Avenue is not listed as a truck route. It further down towards Workmore's, it does have designated parking spots, but when you get to that area, there's no lines painted as far as parking spots. The only complaint that I've ever had in the 2.5 years that I've been here was one time, one of the drivers had changed the tire, and I went and talked to them, and they picked it up immediately, so we've never had any issues or complaints from anybody else that I can attest to. The only thing that is that because of the downtown revitalization project, it makes it a tough turn, especially in Louisiana. And a sign was posted there, I'm not sure when, but no semi-trucks allowed. And they did run over, somebody ran over one of the little barricades in the flower beds. The actual truck route is Edward Street, which is the 1 block north, right on the north side of Corey's Jewelry Store. And I'm assuming that was done back in the day when Stan Shealy and all the businesses were in that area. The city council, the mayor, chief of police, at any time can designate any place in the city as a no parking zone. We have ordinances concerning the time of a vehicle to be left. You can't leave a vehicle parked for more than 8 hours unattended. Things of that nature. You can only load and unload in certain areas. Now we have no signs that are posted in an area as a no parking area. When we check that. I'm trying to think of anything else. We have an ordinance as far as like scattering, spilling, throwing, depositing, and dropping. So like if somebody was out there changing all and spilling all on the ground, creating a problem, or putting a bunch of trash, and we have an ordinance to deal with that. There was one area where it's photographed, where there's a little bit you just all the drips out of it like a regular car. I didn't see any cause for concern that really would create a problem. There's a whole lot of ordinances that can be kind of fit in to deal with something if we have a problem, or if we want to restrict it as a no parking area. The council has the ability or the right to do that. But again, if they're parking there and there's no designated parking, I guess if the council would allow it as a parking area, it's a first come, first served. And because you're parking there for free, I don't think any person would have the right to tell the other one to move or not to park there. It's not like it's a marked location. You can only park between these certain 2 lines, like you'd be in a truck stop or something like that.
Mark, you saying, do you see a problem with those trucks being parked there?
Like I said, I haven't had any.
I understand you said something about, you lost me when you said something about work moves. Further down.
Further down, in front, like Workmore's and Bulls, we have parallel parking lines, like for automobiles to park. It's striped.
It's striped for car park.
And let's say if that area would be striped, then I would say, well, a truck can't pick up 10 parking.
You told that.
But
So
it's
all
not
from behind the
striped.
light pole.
They haven't been blocking the stripe park.
Right.
Right.
Not that I've seen. I'll go past and look this way, some and made notice of.
That's the first time, like I said, I knew the trucks had been being parked there, and I received several calls after that, and then the owner of Bullets and Bows, and I also talked to the lady that called me from work moves, and they were like, the trucks had been parked there, they didn't have a problem with it. She said they didn't want to get in the middle of it, but the guy said something about they were sending a letter saying, it's not his property, but he didn't have a problem with them parking there because it's city property. He couldn't say park there, but being that his business was across the street, he didn't have a problem. I don't want nobody to think I'm siding with nobody, but right is right and wrong is wrong. You know what I'm saying? If, like you said, you're gonna make it a first come, first, it's not. And West Edwards is nowhere for them trucks to park. Is it a place for those trucks to park on West Edwards?
No, it's on the truck route.
So,
Truck,
I mean, it's
what
on
he
the
was
truck
saying
route
is
for
a
the
truck
trucks to pay.
route.
Right, I
Parking is
understand.
limited to none.
We have
Truck
nowhere
routes is
in
what's
town that's designated for truck parking.
Right.
We have
Okay.
certain ordinances that'll tell you certain streets you cannot park trucks on. And I'm assuming like one of them is North Polk and one is North Parkerson. At some point in time, years past, they may have had the same issue, and the council had to designate those two streets as no truck parking for some reason at that time, I'm assuming. But
Question for Mr. Davis. How many trucks do you own?
3,
3. How many drivers do you have?
2 at the moment.
2? Okay, so one truck is usually there during the day.
Right, 24-hour call, man.
how many trucks could be parked there if they were parked?
4. Like I went to them, they all could have been parked.
I mean, how many?
We get at least 4.
Yeah, I've seen.
We had 5. I mean, one without a trailer.
Driver, you ought to be able to get in and out.
Yeah, we did 5 without a trailer. I mean, we had, like I said, when I went to them, it wasn't no problem. I told them where you could have parked. We made room, and that's why I said, and it blew out of proportion the next day when I had a notification from Carol.
Yeah,
I mean, it was.
12:30 at night. Somebody, how would you like somebody to call you at 12:30 at night?
Did not I speak to you at about 5 o'clock and ask you to move it? Did not? And then I told you, did not I tell you? I said, when that guy get in, hey, it's a possibility he might call you at about 12 o'clock. I called your phone at 11:30. I called your phone at 11:45. You never picked up.
It's not your problem.
Mr. Larry, we kind of talked about this, about section 26-4. And I know we,
Which one?
that's permit to enter city property for business operations.
I don't think that covers. That's more of delivery trucks and things like that. That's what I think that ordinance covers.
They've been there a long time.
All I can say is, for 2.5 years I've been here.
If you don't do this. So, some of the ordinance covers issues concerning the trucks parked there, that you could cite a lot of things, but the local businesses there have no problem from what y'all saying.
Listen, Bose called me today and told me he didn't know I was the city council in the district, and he was trying to find out. He had contacted Ms. Washington, and she gave him the number, and he called me today. He said he was sending a letter, he couldn't be here, but he had no problem with it. He said, it's not my property. He said, my business is just across the street.
You know, the only problem I had with it, and I think I told you, Mr. Davis, was that, y'all say it's not y'all that drive through there and run across those mediums that the city had through the state erected, you know, for bulb outs, which makes it hard. You gotta be a really good driver to drive through that. Somebody's continuously running over that and tearing up the flower beds and the bulb outs and everything else. But there's other trucks, I know it's not just y'all.
Have a lot of over-the-road trucks come in and deliver pipes and lane.
Turn or whatever, he brought that to my attention.
And where they put that truck route at, man, the road in front lane, there's no way you can pass a truck and a trailer in front there.
Yeah, see, that's.
I mean, that's a small road.
If the city ever continues, which is in the plans with these downtown enhancement projects, and you almost can scratch Edwards off as a truck route.
No, it's hard, just like it's hard to turn right at the boulevard in East Jeff Davis, it's almost impossible.
We kind of sort of made our own route to park right there, man. Instead of going through town, we go over the tracks, come around. That way, I mean, it's considered as a truck route. You got a lot of grain trucks past there.
You take American Legion Drive,
Yes, sir.
take a right there.
Yeah, it's all truck route. You cross the tracks and it's right there. This is the thing, you know, we have a vague ordinance that kind of hits and misses on possibly being a problem in parking there and not being a problem. You know, y'all saying the businesses say, you know, you spoke to Bullets and Bows. That's the main one. Worthmore's is way at the end. So Bullet and Bows is the one that's the most affected, if anybody. Lane Christensen apparently didn't have a problem. The problem I have is before I get the chief to act, you know, in ticketing anybody or hurting anybody, I just want to be sure that y'all in agreement that if you will allow them to park there, and that's what you want, then the vagueness of the ordinance, we're gonna accept as it being okay to park there. On the other hand, if y'all feel there's a problem, we're gonna accept the vagueness of the ordinance as being mandatory that they don't park. So, whatever y'all decide is favorable or unfavorable for the ones parking there, and if so, if you're gonna allow it, it should be a first come, first served. It should be open for anyone with any, whether they live here or not, you can't say just because they live here, they park. We have truck stops in town that are used for parking the trucks, but some reasons why you park there. So, it's whatever. If y'all want to allow it, and that, we just need to settle it, because once y'all as a council agree, being administrative, I'm gonna enforce it, and I'm gonna push the chief and the police department to enforce it, whichever way. If there's no action and they're allowed to park there, then they're gonna continue to park there, and Mr. Domain will continue to try and park there as long as he doesn't block, or someone doesn't block the striped off areas. But I want to allow y'all to give that decision. I think Mr. Larry went through the ordinances. He found out that, it's kind of vague. It doesn't tell us one way or another. So I think y'all maybe just need to decide, gut feeling, what y'all comfortable with, because either way, no one really wins here, no one really loses. It's just gonna be a first come, first serve. If we go that route, if you decide, it's a restaurant.
In your opinion, is the road being because of heavy trucks?
I don't see any deterioration, because I don't think they're bringing heavy loads. It's almost empty.
Okay.
There's a couple of things. One of our ordinances says you gotta be at least 50 foot from the railroad crossing. And took a picture, like one of the trucks is pretty close now, whether it's 50 foot or not, it's hard to see.
I don't think that,
Because
I moved it up for that reason for him.
I think it's fine, because they allow us to cut grass there without having a spotter. I'm working on the railroad for that drainage. I think I told you today about it. We're working on some drainage on the north side of the tracks. We're gonna cut a ditch. And the railroad, and Kim knows about it because we discussed it, the railroad has a requirement that if you get within so many feet of their actual right of way, you cannot go, with nothing there. And they allow us to cut grass there, so I think they're within the boundary. I don't think that's gonna affect it.
So it's automatically.
Mr. Larry, we need to have a motion and move on this, or just a general agreement?
Section 74-168 gives the mayor and council the right to restrict, allow, strictly.
Should we vote on this, or
Sure,
just
you
a
can
gentleman's
vote on it.
agreement?
Exactly right.
We're in open council.
Well, first it says that's a right to restrict, so I think you turn the motion into someone moving to restrict the voting and to see how you.
And if we don't restrict it, we can change our mind at a later date if it causes a nightmare.
No question.
So,
Hey, Chuck,
yes,
I have a question, man. Before he did that, this one-time deal caused a big old thing. He normally parks, he lives across by the rice mill, okay? He said he didn't have a ride, but he normally parks his truck right on side the road by the rice mill. He ain't but a half a block from his house. I want to know what was his motive for all this certain time.
It's a city property.
It just, I can understand that, but he is the same way I had a certain spot where I put mine. Whoever he drove for, he had a certain spot across the track right in front of the rice mill. So I want to know what's his motive for that. Just a one-time deal, and he ran to the council.
I think it just, it's just how it fell, but if we do agree, or the council agrees, then it's a first come, first serve, if that's what they agree. If they say they don't want anybody parking there, then nobody parks.
Right.
No one owns the property but the citizens of Rayne, and the police department's gonna follow through with whatever the council decides. So, is there anything else, Mark, because you have a lot more on the agenda?
Just real quick, in my opinion, because of this issue, if the council were to decide to allow parking to be there, I think we should mark it off as designated spots for truck parking. That way, if you park within the lines and there's no disagreement about who's parked too close, you know, whatever, how many feet you need to park a truck and trailer, mark out how many spots it could be there, and that way there's no more disagreement. When you get there and the spot's full.
Well, I mean, they're good truck drivers, because they've been, all those guys, they're good truck drivers, they wouldn't have a license, but, are we obligated to any liabilities as a city, allowing them to park there, and if something happens to their vehicle, somebody backs into it or
No.
breaks into it, so we're no liability whatsoever, so it's, on your own. Anything else, Mr. Davis? You have any questions?
I got one. Yeah, Larry, okay with this, what about if you want to park it in front of your house? An 18-wheeler, will there be any restrictions there?
Well, I mean, you have the same ordinances we're talking about today.
I don't think we have any shoulders to allow 18 to park.
Actually, Mayor, we do if you ride through the city. The actual ordinance has been relaxed for some time. Because a lot of people in the city are Rayne truck drivers. And there's several people that all park on these streets, on the shoulders and that. So, you know, you can't selectively enforce the law. That's why the ordinance has been relaxed. It's people's livelihood, how they make their
You
living.
don't hurt anybody, but
Right.
if they're very close to a stop sign where
Oh, yeah,
it
that's
blocks
the issue
the
they have.
view, then
Or
that's
they're
it.
blocking the lane too.
Or if they're blocking the lane or partially parked in the road or blocking a driveway, they limit it because driveways are often along the block. So they know where they can and can't park. And you're right, you can't selectively enforce. So, and you want to be
The ordinance
user-friendly to the
the
public.
ordinance has been relaxed for several years because a lot of people, that's their livelihood. It's a living.
Well, we can, like I say, y'all can decide. We're gonna live and die by it based on nothing else serious happening where we have to reverse the decision either way. And, you know, there are a lot of truck drivers, we don't wanna hurt anybody. And y'all don't wanna give tickets, I know that.
Mayor, in reading that ordinance I just mentioned earlier, it can be either a motion to allow it or to restrict it.
And it's reversible, right?
It can go either way.
That we allow first come, first served truck drivers on Louisiana Avenue, okay? And
On the south
on
side
the
of
south
that road.
side, on the
South side of that road.
Louisiana Avenue, from Second Street to Bulletin Bowls.
You can't go to, but, Mark, we can,
I mean, you're gonna have to,
why don't we tape it all, if that's what y'all decide.
How many
what-
feet does it take to park a truck?
You got 53 and 22 roughly, but it's mated, so you probably about 77 feet overall. Mr. Davis?
About 80, give it.
Mr. Domain, how long's your truck?
Oh, it's about
76 feet? You got 22 tractor and you got 53 trailer, and then they mated over each other. And
yeah, but I don't understand how y'all gonna allow that when two of his trucks never moved over a year. So if it's first come, first served, you only can allow 4 trucks. 2 of his trucks never moved for a year. There's only 2 people.
You want the lease papers? That's what you need? That's what you're missing?
the trucks move, Mr. Davis?
Yeah, they move. I
I
drive
had to hook up a rope to my truck to move his truck to get the trailer. The
Oh.
batteries was dead.
I got a receipt, man. I just paid $1,400. The ECM went out on my truck, okay?
So why
Truck
would
just
y'all
got out the
allow
shop. I
a
just
certain
paid 14.
time, 8 hours to park and go about your business?
The problem is that he's on call, that's all.
Well, I was on call.
I tell you what you could do, if y'all are gonna allow it, it's up to y'all. That at any time, if there's a question that the vehicle is inoperable, or not licensed, or not insured, and the police department goes and verifies that, it has to be moved within 24, 48 hours.
Mayor, we already have orders in place for abandoned junk vehicles that are covered.
Yeah, because he says they run, and I believe him, I mean.
Not
I don't
licensed, not
see it.
insured, we have orders in place.
But if it's true in fact, then that would have to be removed off the city street.
let me ask you this, is the ordinance that we're looking at right now,
Discuss it on the phone. Don't get them in here. But guess what? I got it tonight.
That ordinance, we need to say something.
What is for me?
Have any other questions? Because we got a lot going on. We gotta move
Yeah, I think we need to strike.
So you're gonna,
What I'm asking, if you decide about,
Yeah.
and you have two trucks parked, and it's slightly different, how much do they need to build a parallel parking?
I don't know, I'm not a truck driver. I think we want to leave it on, and I'll give the street department to mark designated spots, 1 through 4, if we can get them in there, whatever we can get tight. And it's first come, first served, and at any time, if we can visually figure that the truck's not operable, we can call the tag that's on the truck and say, come start your truck and show us it moves. And that your license, insured, and everything else, and if that all fits, you can't make a move if that's what y'all go for.
As far as an abandoned vehicle goes,
Because we don't want to hurt anybody driving. So we covered under that ordinance, but he says they're licensed and everything, so we're covered. Yes, ma'am.
When my husband come back, if he start parking there, where should he park his truck?
Within those 4 slots, if they agree to that, and if there's no spot, I don't know where to tell you. Truck stop. We only limited in what we
We've
have.
been there 2 years. I mean, Bullet and Bose asked me to tell him to just,
It's a public
And that's where we're
market.
gonna get in the problem.
If they designated a public parking, it's first come, first served, unless you have an agreement with one of these gentlemen.
Well,
And now it looks like Mr. Domain would be in the parking spot too.
Oh, I'm gonna make it my business.
You have a motion on the floor.
No, because I wouldn't take it down from big.
It's not just on West Louisiana that they're parking semis. The east side near where the mill used to be, also you can see 2 and 3 trucks there sometimes. So if you're gonna do it for one side, you're gonna have to do it for both sides.
The only problem is the bed and breakfast there. And the only other problem is there's the 2 reception areas, the warehouse and the Mervyn Kong crossing and the dollar store. And
But on that last block,
we're gonna have to.
on any given day, you'll have 2, at least 2 of them parked there.
Well, I
in the
think what we
evening.
need to do there is talk to the neighbors to be sure that they're okay with it. And if so, then y'all could flip-flop. Of course, it'd be really nice if your husband could park by his house.
yes, please.
But on the other hand, if they vote on that, it's first come, first served.
I'm just gonna ask a crazy question, I don't know anything
Oh,
about
I
truck
sure
stop.
will.
When
We'll
you
fix
park at
it.
a truck stop, do they charge you to park there? Some do?
well, he been parking ever since, he been driving the truck, so I don't
So
know.
much at night, or you, I mean, how does
No, I
that
don't,
work?
that's what I'm saying, I don't know, I never parked at a truck stop, and since I've been owning where I live,
That's not what
Okay, we need a vote on this. We have a motion.
So we have a motion to allow on, excuse me. Motion to allow on Louisiana Avenue on South Side from section to Bullis and Bowes.
And maybe the other side too. And we're gonna strike. It looks like 4 spots.
Look, they have a chair right in the front, in the corner.
And the trucks do pass there because they go to the news. So it's the same circumstance.
It's supposed to pass.
It's the same situation, right? If it changes at a later date, we're gonna have to abandon the We do the west side and east side. You can abandon it, this is your application to if you're not changing the one thing, four slots? Well, I'm gonna run into two slots, okay.
No more than what, South Cunningham? Is that North Cunningham? No more than west.
So between North Cunningham and North Arenas, we allow parking on the south side of the street only, which can be amended at any time where there's no parking. On the other side of the street, the road, west side, south side, just those four spots. Between Clegg Street and Section, right?
Can we repeat that? So is it 4 trucks can be parked there or 5 trucks?
No, 4 there.
From Section Street.
Okay. Is this his motion? Is that your motion? Is that what you wanted to do? Okay. To allow Louisiana Avenue on south side from Section to Bullets and Bows, and we will strike Arenas back west, North Arenas and South Cunningham.
North Arenas to South Cunningham, North Cunningham. We are gonna talk to the neighbors to verify that that's okay before we fully allow, you know. There's some trucks parked there now. So. It's on the south side, the railroad track side of the road. And it can be amended where it's not allowed. We only grant that to the street.
Yeah, her husband do. Yeah, he parked right in front of his house, right before the strike.
Yeah, he's between Clegg and South.
Right.
Yeah, this is.
Police told me as long as we're behind the
Like, what do y'all
light
want to do?
posts.
We want to allow them to park.
On Louisiana Avenue on the south side from Section to Bullets and Bows, and we will strike Arenas back west, North Arenas to North Cunningham once neighbors are polled.
Correct. Okay. So there'll be no police action and that, and then the only other thing is if a vehicle's inoperable, and we feel it's inoperable, we can go challenge their licensing and insurance and ability to move the truck.
And we need a second on that.
Moved by Kenny, and second by Gibson. Okay, all in favor, say aye. Opposed, ayes carried. That's what it is. The next thing is behind tab 7C. We have a request by Miss Emily Bivens.
Wait,
Excuse me. Okay, Ms. Bivens sent a letter. She said, Mayor Robichaud, Council and Council and Board, I, Emily Bivens, 415 Elizabeth Drive, am requesting to be put on August 10, 2015 agenda. The reason I'm requesting this 413 Elizabeth Drive property is horrible. I believe Ted Gaspar is a hoarder. Something needs to be done about this issue. I request that the yard at 413 Elizabeth Drive be cleaned up, trash and grass cut. Also, I can smell human urine on my back patio when the wind blows my way from there. My cat has come across the fence that is between us with a big rat. From there several times. Also, when we cut our yard, we kill snakes from there due to long grass not being cut. This man at 413 Elizabeth Drive has threatened my life more than once. Rayne Police Department has been called out several times for this. We can't even sit on our front porch or back patio because all he, Ted Gaspar, does is use foul language toward us and our 9-year-old daughter. He, Ted Gaspar, even mentioned hurting my inside puppies when they go out to potty while they are in my yard. We have also witnessed Ed Gaspar throwing trash in our yard that is really his trash. Ed Gaspar has harassed all the neighbors, threatening to sue all of us. Ed Gaspar will crank his lawnmower at 6 a.m., leave and come back home 8:30 p.m. or later, roaring the lawnmower up with my bedroom and 9-year-old daughter's room is right there. Ted Gaspar has been bringing other people's trash home to dig in as well. Sincerely, Emily Bivens.
It's bad.
East, 415 Atlantic Drive, Rayne, Louisiana. Ms. Bivens is here.
I'm here.
You want to come address the council and tell us what you wanted us to do?
Give them 30 days. Give them 30
Hi everybody, I'm Emily Bivens. I live at 415 Elizabeth Drive. For over 2 years now, I've been have over 30 pictures right here of the yard, how nasty. I want the council to look at. He has threatened to kill me. He has thrown things at the child next door to me that the police were called on, and he was spoke to about that. He takes people's trash all day long. I'm sure y'all see him riding around with the lawnmower all over town. He tried to hit my disabled husband with the 2x4 once he was released from institution. Police were called also on that. I have been talking to Mr. Carroll about it a lot to try to get something done. This man needs help before he hurts someone or someone hurts him. This is ridiculous. We have a nice neighborhood. He's the only nasty one there. It needs to be cleaned up. He has put a fence up. I have a hurricane fence. He put his fence like this. Who's gonna fit? I know I can, to cut that grass. Then the fence, 2 boards are painted, 2 boards are not. 2 boards are painted, all on my side. You swear it's a kid that did it. Then it's all unlevel. All different colors. We live in town, really? He's bringing people's bags of trash home to dig in. There's a neighbor across my my yard, which I have his signature on file. I'm not sure he's here tonight because I didn't see him. His kids they go 4th and 5th grade. And Ted has been sticking these little boys the finger. These are children. This is crazy. This is a grown man. I mean, he harasses everybody.
My main concern, all this trash, we had a hurricane, and we tell them all that's gonna end up.
It's gonna end up in my house.
In our house, inside our house, in our cars, or different.
And with all this threatening he's doing to me, something happens to me, somebody's gonna be liable. Because I have reported him over and over and over to do something with it.
Chief, what can we do? If she's been threatened with bodily harm, what's the next step?
In the past, I guess it's been about a year ago when this went down, I contacted the brother who was the actual power attorney. At that time we got an OPC, had him admitted to a hospital. He stayed, I guess, about a week.
2 weeks.
We transported him there and that. Came back out. Since then, his brother has relieved himself of power attorney. So he really don't have anybody overlook him.
That we're aware of.
Right. I think it happened within the past couple of weeks. His brother contacted me.
Okay, what's the procedure on that, Mr. Larry? As an attorney, what is the procedure if she gets
threatening, breaking laws? That's
fine.
Yeah, he can be cited and brought to court for that.
Yeah.
What else? Needs to press charges.
She presses charges. He gets a ticket. He appears in
But this man has issues. Y'all can't issue a warrant to check his home, make sure he has nothing to hurt me? What if he catches my house on fire? He walks outside in the dark with a flashlight at night like somebody stalking him or something.
That's not against the law.
No, but nobody goes there. You know, and he says that we're harassing him all the time. How can I harass you? You got an 8-foot fence on top of this.
Don't go near that man.
Don't go near him.
Has he threatened you in front of witnesses?
Yes, neighbors. Look, I got neighbors here.
Well, if you, have you made a report, a formal?
I've called the cops over and over and over.
Have you written a formal report?
I think I may have one time.
Because you have to write it formal and have your witnesses, and then they have to proceed whatever the law says they have to do.
In fact, we did that the night that he tried to hit Mr. Menard's son, a juvenile.
I think you went to court and...
No, we didn't go to court. Nothing was done about
Did you go to
it.
court and plead guilty?
No.
Anytime the charge, once we accept the charges, submitted to our prosecutor, who's Angie Wagner, she determines whether they got probable cause to prosecute. Once we turn over to, I don't prosecute, we investigate, take statements and turn over to Angie. She determines whether or not she's gonna prosecute the case. You maybe go in and talk to Angie. I remember the case with Wayne's son. We did accept the charges and submitted to her.
You know, I can supply you with her cell number and her work number.
Sure,
Ms.
I will
Wagner,
contact her.
She's also there an hour or so before court. Today was court. She was there just before 1 o'clock. She called me. So, you know, or you can set up an appointment to meet with her. But if somebody threatens you like that, you need to make a statement, a formal written statement, and you need to have your witnesses write a statement, and then they're going to proceed according to whatever the law is. And I'm not a policeman, but you know, concerning the trash that he's done, I mean, it's ugly.
That's ridiculous.
And
I know y'all would, nobody in here would like to live by somebody like that.
Mr. David, you have remarks on that? I mean, I had Mark doing research on it.
And I do have to thank you for that. And I'm sorry for all the abuse you have to take from that man when you go there.
We went out Friday, Officer Lucci, Greater and I, and we spoke to him. And, you know, explaining to him what he's got to clean up. And it's kind of hard to make him understand, but, you know, I made it clear to him he has to take the fence down or cut it down to 6 foot. He has a right to build a 6-foot fence, but anything over 6 foot is not within code.
Okay, who's gonna cut the grass in between there that grows on my side?
Well,
If we poison, then he wants to call the police because I'm putting poison on his property.
he did complain about that. You know, I told him.
But then when I called the police out and said, I smelled diesel in the yard, they came to send an officer, there was no diesel supposedly. He threw diesel on my side of the fence, but that was okay.
I hear you.
It's not issues, you need to put him away.
Get out of here,
And I asked him if he was still on his medication when he got real mad at me and cussed me out.
Oh, I know.
And,
We heard him hollering and cussing at you Friday.
you know, I mean, it's all on the phone. You know, a lot of the stuff he picks up is used material that, you know.
It's trash. You can tell the termites ate on it.
And it's kind of a technicality.
Mark, at what point can we proceed? I mean, the threatening part is something that has to be with us.
That's a whole.
They put it in there to you. Okay, and the city ordinance says 12.
He told me he was gonna clean up his.
He has not. The only thing he did was cut the grass in the front.
You'll have to hold it down.
Grass ordinance, I mean, he's in compliance because he's not over 12 inches tall. Not even going in the back. I know he's got a.
To the back is to the knees. I got pictures.
Yeah, well, so I'm just saying, I took pictures up Friday.
He won't let you get to the back because you can't hardly walk back
Mark, look
there.
at the pictures.
He came and passed a lawnmower back there.
And I understand the man
My
has,
neighbors cut their grass 2-3 times a week.
and that's,
But people with issues, that's who's going around killing all these people on TV. I'm not ready to die. Yes, he did, and he verified that. He went to True Value to purchase a weapon to kill me.
And when he drives that lawnmower, he don't get out the way.
You're right.
He don't get out the way. He makes you wait behind him. And then if he's talking to somebody, he's gonna sit in the middle of the road and you have to sit behind him. That's what he does. And I done seen so many possums, so many snakes that done come across from there onto our side, and I live further down. Yeah, I live, yes.
So he's affecting a lot of people.
And I seen him today bringing another load of trash to his house.
Nobody can tell me what this
You can't ride a golf cart on the street.
He's slowing traffic down on the track to get cars and do that too. That's bad for it.
Get your witnesses for that. Mark, how are we gonna proceed with this other thing? I mean,
Well, as far as paying the property, I thought it was done.
we've gotta pull the fence down, he's gotta get the grass. Because there's too many neighbors.
Okay, one more thing. When you build buildings on your land, don't you have to have permits for that?
Yes.
He's built two, no permits.
It's under 400 square feet, it's under the storage area.
He's good there. What we're gonna do, if you do your part with the police,
In all fairness, he
we'll
did
do
call
our
me.
part with the small things we can control. And if it gets out of hand, you know, I mean.
Oh, I will call him. Carol knows. Thank y'all.
Thank you.
Good luck, sir.
Yes, sir, sure is.
The next thing on the agenda is behind.
Well, let's go. Thank y'all for coming with me.
You have to hold it down, please. Behind tab 8, there's a request, Mr. Paul St. Julian, 921 Locust Street. He says, to whom it may concern, I, Paul St. Julian, would like to appear in front of the board committee in regards to an ongoing situation in my neighborhood on Union Street. Signed Cecilia Paul St. Julian. This is an ongoing thing, it's been going on for 20 years, concerning being able to park, not being able to park. And Mr. St. Julian is here to address the council, and I think Mr. DeVille, on behalf of who?
Kevin Richard.
Kevin Richard, his son-in-law. So, stepson, Mr. Paul, you want to come and give us 5 minutes, because we're getting behind. We got to settle this thing, because really it's been ongoing, and it's, you know, who's right, who's wrong, and I want y'all to put y'all blessing on whatever we do, and we're gonna go forward with it. We're gonna enforce either way, whatever y'all decide. Tell them what's your problem, and it's on Locust Street.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Paul St. Julian. I've been at this residence for over 30 years, like that in dating. I'm having trouble backing out my yard to go down the road. That's the only place I have to go. They want to park in the back of me. I done asked these people about parking back there. Okay, we ain't gonna park back there. When you look again, they park. So we never could have an agreement. So I started calling the cops. Mr. Carroll can verify it. Our councilman, Mr. Gidry, took over. Butch Afshaw. You know all about it.
How long has it been going on? Tell them how long this has been going on.
It's a long time, since George Malone was in office. Wow. I had one sign put, because my neighbors had done blocked all in front of my residence. No parking. They came and they done their little deal, and they put it right to the edge of the road. I didn't put it there. It's right, right, you get off the blacktop, it's right there. That kind of helped. Yeah, I talked to Mr. Chuck. he said he was gonna get 4 signs made. He put 2 on Mr. Kevin Reshaw and them signs, which Rayne is there to verify that. It was too close to their driveway. So the detective come out, also Mr. Terrell that makes the sign. They talked about it. I was at work at the time. So they was gonna move the sign over. They didn't do that. When I look again, they came move the signs all together. But in the process, they had like a little gathering to that particular property across. But this is nothing there. But that's their property. By them signs being there, everybody was in the yard. Whatever they do on that side of the road, when they come, they got a horseshoe driveway. I'm back there in that dead end, my driveway's a little further. They go in, they come out. My car is under the garage. Never in their way. I want the same privilege. But it was always a stag, a stag, a stag. So I want to ask the council people, can I have them signs back? He came and talked with Mr. Chuck about moving the signs or whoever they moved it. But they can put it on my side. I have no problem with it. The same sign. Just letting them know that I won't have to keep calling the police. I'm tired of calling the police. I guess they're tired of coming back there because I'm tired of calling. You know what, y'all? Some of y'all new to me. I don't know what you say, Mr. Babin. The rest of y'all I'm in school. I know y'all. I don't bother nobody. I have a guy right here. I work at the Rayne gas line. I'm a retired statesman. What they doing on American Legion Drive, I done done all that. I worked for the Rayne gas on one of the oldest establishments in Rayne besides the police department. But I came back out to go to my job. Me or my wife, she worked there too. And if we say something, we wrong. The police come back there. And matter of fact, that's another situation. Mr. Boone Terrell with his father-in-law. Every night, 7 o'clock, 7:05, the police would come down. I was there with them old people. And that day they ain't come. They take the rifle out the back of, he had the El Camino truck. I did I put in the police car to go by the business. When that old man deceased, they don't come down there unless you call. I got my tax. Come in here every year. I pay tax. The mosquito truck, Mr. Malbrew was on, he would come back there. They don't come back down right to the edge of the cooler. If I had any other way to get out of there, I sure would. But I ain't got no canoe to go in the gully. That's all I say. So Mr. Mark, we had a couple of issues about that. He was telling me about the ordinance, which I understand. But if I pay tax, which they do too, I'm backing out just like they come and go in their yard. I'm backing out on the asphalt, not on the grass. That's all I have, you know.
Well, let Mr. DeVille, you have anything to, you heard what he said?
And besides the point, not to cut you off,
Yes,
Mr. Roach, he used to be neighbors. Before he moved from there and moved to the project, we were neighbors. I would look out for them. All the daddy stuff you can ask. Danny, the one that lived on Section and Jeff Davis, he come down, he would look out for what's going on.
I have parked my big truck in the same spot overnight. Never come out and said a word till I moved off that property. Somebody drives up there and pulls off the side of the road. They're not going nowhere because I'm watching them. He'll come out there, gotta move the vehicle, I'm leaving. The man moved the vehicle, we moved the vehicle, he still ain't left. But there's 60 foot of right, was it 30 some odd foot of right of way? He wants back all the way straight out and didn't turn. So just make
We gotta back out.
Are you parked on the road?
We gotta
half
back
on the
out.
road is thrown off the ditch and we almost run into it.
Because you can't block the road.
No, we're not blocking the road. I mean,
Yes,
we're
it
off
does.
as far as we get.
Mr. Robichaud, when he have done that with the truck he used to drive, a mail truck.
We didn't bother him, we called the
He
cops.
backed it up back there. While us being neighbors, he came to me after that. I didn't tell him nothing because I didn't say nothing. I told my wife and my son at the time he was living. I said, watch that truck back there. So he came to me a little while after that. Mr. St. Jude, I see it makes it hard for you to get out to your day. If you know that, then why you park there? I told him, I said, Mr. DeVille, I said, when you turn on 8th Street in the front of Ms. Boudreaux's brick house, they had a sign said, no trucks at all back there at the time. I said, they got a sign up there. He ain't never parked there no more. No, so when they do come back there, like he said, if they do come back there and stuff, I got on my picket fence and hurricane fence, I got do not block traffic. If you pull up in front of that, you can see that.
They can't block.
I got 2 signs from Mr. J. I got 2 signs from Mr. J. He give me. I put that on the fence. If you pull up there, I ain't got to run out there. You should see that.
Mark,
We gotta back out.
you're on both sides, we gotta move on, we got a lot to do. Can you explain to the council your findings, the ordinances, the law, everything dealing with city street, available parking, and everything else?
In the last 2.5 years, this has probably been the most talked about, visited, discussed subject in my office by far. We've got more calls about this than any other subject I've ever dealt with. It's an unfortunate situation where they live because the street is only a 30-foot right of way. Usually a standard city street is a minimum of 50, usually 60-foot right of way. So it's a very narrow street. It's an unfortunate circumstance. Somebody lived in a camper temporarily across the street last year. We went out, took us a little while, I said, look, I'm not gonna put you on the street, but you can't live in this camper. We finally moved out. We thought everything was resolved. Then we got back on the parking issue. From what I've checked into the history of this, Councilman Budget Amendment about 7 or 8 years ago, obliged by his concern and put a no parking sign in front of his house. Beginning of the year, he asked me a road show and asked me to go look at it again. At that time is when they were starting the American Legion Road project, which they didn't have access to their property from the other side. And but the signs ended up there at that time. Mr. DeVille kept calling, kept telling me, he said, look, we didn't ask to put signs on our side of the street. So I started researching all these ordinances again, and the best I can tell you is that you have a city right of way. That property on each side of the street up to there, where that property starts, is city property. Anybody can park there, has access to it. Now, you can request to the city council, to the chief of police, or the mayor to make any place as a no parking area, which they did in front of his house. But I can't see anywhere in the ordinance where it would say that you have the right to request to make your neighbor across the street as a no parking. To me, in my opinion, whoever lives in front of that property, it would be their request, not the person across the street.
But nobody lives.
Councilman, what he's saying, I understand that. Back there in the area, they got Ms. Boudreaux live on the corner. They got some front home people live right across from them. Back there, all the way to the gully, I'm the only one there. They got some houses here, but they all vacant. They got one for sale. I'm the only one in the dead end in the corner. I would like to back out my yard and go about my business. I don't bother nobody. If them signs would be there, them signs would stop all of that. Now, they didn't want it on their side. I'm asking y'all, can I put it on my side?
That's fine with us.
And Mayor,
Yeah, but we need to back up.
the chief of police enforcement, they walk back there, I'm gonna call, I'm gonna keep calling.
What you're asking,
Get done.
let's clarify. What you're asking is your side of the road, if the no parking is allowed there,
I ain't got no, right here,
you're okay.
right there. You see, they got that sign been there over 20 years, that sign.
Look
They
at
faded.
the picture.
They had a nice one where they put on their side. When you turn off of 7th Street, I go check on my own mind. When you turn off of 7th Street, you could see the glow from it.
So
I would like a brand new one. Right there where they posted. That concerning across there. That's what
the
my
right
guys-
side of the road,
You
Jim,
can only put it on this side of the road.
That's right.
the right side of the road is the three short
Provided,
hills.
when I back out, like I said, nothing ain't supposed to be back there because I'm backing out. on
But the thing
asphalt.
about it is, we can't tell them, that's city property though.
It is city property. But
As
if they
is
gonna
yours.
park back there and I gotta get out, how I'm gonna get out?
Well, I understand.
Mr. Daigle says 30 feet out of the edge of the blacktop, myself. The blacktop from their end to my end, 19 feet, you could say maybe 20. I'm backing out on the asphalt. I've been paying tax back there too many years.
You're concerned you get somebody right here, or they parking on the street?
Parking back there. They park, what they want to park back there? You see right there where his driveway is? They park on the other side. Well, his driveway is kind of going to the mountain. If they park here, in the front of that driveway, I ain't got no trouble with it.
You see the left side?
I have no trouble with it.
Jimmy, you see the left side where those
In the front of their driveway.
where the pillars and the sign is, that's Mr. Julian's side.
Sure.
The other side that's got the ditch with the leaves in it, that's the Richard DeVille side, which is directly across. Now, he has no parking. We didn't pull that up, did we?
Yeah, they pulled it up.
On your side?
On their side.
Okay, so that's on their side. His side. What you're saying is, if
when
we
that sign was there, over a month and maybe 2 weeks, ain't nobody parked there. They came, they had a problem, but they all went in the yard.
I had went there at 9 o'clock at night, 9:30, drive down the end to look at into my shop, because I don't have the mobility I used to.
Oh, you walk all over.
At 9:30, I didn't say I couldn't walk, I just can't walk like I want to.
That's a shame.
So I pulled down and looked, 9:30 at night, there's a cop pulling up behind me, won't know, oh, we got a report of illegal parking back here blocking the driveway. 9:30 at night, all the lights off in his house,
Yeah,
cars
the lights ain't
parked
never
in the
off in my
change
house.
house, they're all set up.
And if you pull in the front of my house, I got a security light. Motion sensors. When you pull up my driveway, it's lights up all that way. So how it could be dark if the motion sensor was
The
on?
only thing I have a problem with, if you have to leave in an emergency.
Yeah, and he doesn't stay back there.
What I'm saying,
The driveway's wide enough and
what they want to have.
Oh, that's him.
If they got a whole street driveway.
One at a time, we can't all.
You know what I mean? What do I do when I'm parking back there? Because it's nothing back there.
Just,
Ain't nobody back there.
I got a shop that I'm gonna look at.
Your shop is on Sunbreaker Road. You got access to go in there, but it's on
Yeah,
Sunbreaker Road.
If I want to look at the back of the shop,
Well, you can do that.
I cannot stand up front.
You can go in your yard and look at all you want to look
I can't
at.
walk back.
You ain't got to be.
that man been
You
down
can
for a
drive
while.
in there and get out like you get out and wrap it all under the trucks and everything like you do.
Listen, we can't get this argument, it's not gonna get us nowhere.
That's all I'm asking y'all.
The back
Go
out.
to signs. Where Mr.
I'll put you a
I
sign
know
over
what's saying.
I'd say we put a sign in.
Put them on one side of the road, that's fine.
There's already one there.
Why he here, y'all address to him? I'm talking all that, they got park back there.
That's it, that's his side, and those cement things are his. That's actually on city right away, but it's okay, it's in front of his
I
house.
can't get out. Now, I can probably have to wrestle with myself. They don't wrestle when they come. Sometimes he come with trailers of junk. He go in
It's
the
on
yard.
purpose.
He's not wrestling with his vehicle going in and out the yard. Why I gotta wrestle with mine?
I know how to move my vehicle. You got a little 10-foot vehicle, I can take 30 foot and move around out there.
But you
You're
don't
supposed to
have
go in the yard with your 30-foot vehicle.
I know how to
Ordinance that you can't, I know, I was born and raised in Westlake, they had an ordinance, because I know I hit a mail truck and they were responsible. You cannot park even with somebody's driveway across the street.
Yeah, that's what
Makes you back out, you might hit
The
it.
driver-
Rayne didn't have that?
I don't know if Rayne didn't have that or not. Mark, is that the ordinance? Wait, hold on, we gotta talk one at a time.
Our city ordinance only says you cannot block the driveway. It doesn't say anything you can't park across the street from the driveway.
But what you wanna park that for, you know you behind your neighbors. I got to get out.
I'm just saying.
Blocking driveway.
That's their problem, yeah. But Mr. DeVille do not stay back there. Mr. Reshaw do not stay back there.
Okay.
I live back there.
What you're wanting is no parking on your side and on the other side too.
Well, you don't have to put no sign on the other side, since they don't want that on their side of the road. That's supposed to be city property. They can put it on my side. Oh, yeah.
Nobody lives there.
That's what I say, why they want to move the signs and nobody say that?
When I need to park there for some reason.
He don't have no business parking there, he comes to pick.
What you want to park that for? And you can go in the yard, you got a horseshoe driveway. That driveway right.
We get nowhere like this. Okay.
If he wants to put them on the side, so that's fine with us. He can put them
That's
in
all.
the dark, all the way down.
Wait, let's
We only want that part that we gotta back out. From that sign he had from that ditch on down, I don't care who parks there. So we talking about when
Now,
we
where
gotta
you
park
had
back out.
surveyed and where they put the sign, If it was too close to their driveway, they could have moved it forward.
I got a question.
But they wanted it.
I got a question. If we leave the no parking on your side of the street, which is city property and it's right away that belongs to the city, if we leave that there, that's gonna make you happy.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so we got that
Oh,
covered.
yeah.
If we put a no parking sign on the east side of your driveway, there to the coulee, no parking just in that small area.
Yes, sir,
On
but
the
we gotta
east
back
side.
out.
East side.
We need.
Well, the west side, if the car is directly behind us,
This is the
equal
side
to his
here.
driveway,
And that's
it would still cause a problem. So if we put a no parking from the east side of your, equal to the edge of the east side of your driveway across the street on Mr. DeVille, and say no parking from
I ain't got no
here,
problem with it.
put no parking, and we'll make the sign, no parking from here to Canal. And that's it, but they could park,
All
and they
the
could
other way.
park,
They could park.
Don't matter.
they could park everywhere else on his side.
Yeah.
Yes.
Are you okay with that?
I'm not,
Yes.
that's
You're not
not in
gonna
my way.
complain? Mr. DeVille, speaking for Mr. Richard, your son-in-law, is that acceptable?
In a way, yeah.
You understand what I'm
I
talking
know,
about?
but we've been parked in front of our driveway, and he is calling.
It does not stop you from going in your driveway, but it
stays in
stops
the
you from parking across from their driveway. So we would put, we put a no parking sign on your side, your
But
son-in-law's
I can't see
side.
the back of my shop. If I park on, if I stop in the little off-ramp road, look at the back of my shop, that's open three-way. I got traffic, I'm
He's
blocking
not supposed to
traffic.
be doing what he's
You're
doing.
not saying you can't drive to the dead end and look
You can
behind
drive,
yourself?
you just can't park.
They're saying you can't park.
Mark, you know what
We
I'm
always
talking
send
about?
the vehicle.
Can you go
That's
show
just
them in this book? Yeah, show them, you got a picture. Look, this is what we say. We leave no parking on Mr. Julian,
We
St.
never park,
Julian.
that's just it.
Yes, he
We never
did.
get out the vehicle.
Mr. Robichaud, he did. He came one Sunday and parked there on purpose in the corner. We done went to court about that, Jeff, about this man. And we was, he parks in the corner when he came back out of six. And by the time I called, tried to get him, Stelly and the cops,
That's what
he
we,
had done left.
let's see if they decide. Everything on y'all side, we leave it no parking.
We want this thing parked the back out. I don't
Across
care
the
what you
street, across the street from your driveway on the west side, which is closest to 7th Street or 8th Street, we put no parking from here to Cooley. Is that acceptable for you? Is that acceptable? Okay, now Mr. DeVille,
Back out of your driveway.
let's settle this, we gotta move
Like he
on.
said, comes and he backs up and see the back of the shop.
no good.
You got a horseshoe there, where you can go in the yard and see all the back of his shop you want. But if he wanna back up in that end to look at his shop, I ain't got nothing to say. I just don't wanna talk in there, but I gotta get in.
Look, we gotta
Oh,
settle
you
this.
know,
and
we've
move on.
always moved when you asked us to,
He's lying.
but when you start
Why are
calling
we
the
up
cops,
in this meeting?
every time you come out there yelling at people I don't even know,
Mr.
when
DeVille,
you come yelling at people I don't know, and blaming me for them parking
You
there,
don't even have anything
I ain't
to
got
do
no
with it.
control.
Mr.
All
DeVille,
my company come to my
Mr.
house.
DeVille, hold up a second, Paul. Let's settle it. We gotta move on, man. Y'all can go argue at your house.
Yes.
This is the deal. Would you accept, because we get ready to vote on something here. Would you accept,
Maybe it wouldn't be, sir.
and you listen to because it's important, everything on your side of the street will be no parking from your property line to the cool. Because that's your side, even though it's city property, and you're acknowledging that. We're gonna let you put a no parking. We actually have one, we have not taken it up. You putting those pillars there, that shouldn't be there, but it's okay, because you're dead end. So we're okay with that. We agree to that. You okay with that? But Mr. DeVille, on your part, let's settle this, because we gotta move on. If we put a no parking at our expense, the city, that says no parking from here or this point to the cooler, which means across the street from his driveway, on the west side, at the edge of the west side of his driveway, on your side, we put a sign, no parking from here to Cooley, which doesn't stop you from going into your driveway on that property. It just doesn't allow you to park a vehicle from that point to the Cooley. And everywhere else from that sign back to 8th Street, as long as you don't block any driveway, you can do what you want. You can park a car, a truck, you can leave it overnight if you want. Are you okay with that?
Well, the thing of it is, if I pull up there to look at the back of my property and things, then I'm on violation. I ain't getting out of here.
We'll let you park there. If you, I'm trying to get a gentleman's agreement between you two, so we don't have to put some kind of hardship on either one of y'all with this parking.
But
We want to be
if I go
fair.
past with no parking sign, which that would be, to look at the back of my
Are
property,
you
and I
okay
don't
with
get out.
that?
If I don't get out, am I gonna get a ticket?
No, are you okay with that? Mark, explain to him on paper, show him the picture.
I know what that is.
He understands.
Is that fair?
I just don't want nobody to ticket.
Listen, are you okay with that?
As long as there's no ticket issue for somebody that has to sit there.
If you park beyond that sign, on the west side, if we put no parking, you will get a ticket. If you go from the sign back to 8th Street, you get no ticket, right, Chief? And we need to settle it because.
I'm not in, I mean, he can put them on his side of the road more. But at least be able to drive up down the end of my property and park.
It's all city right away, that's right.
It's all city property anyway, so I can put it, because, I mean, if
We
he have an
gotta back up.
emergency, and he gotta back out and he can't get out, you
He's
still
got
can
plenty
go
of room.
around
No,
and
he's got all the
your
room to
area
back
and get
out.
out.
No,
But if
He does.
but if the driveway is blocked, when he gotta back
It's not
out.
blocked.
It
He's got
is. He don't-
a driveway wider than this room right here.
Explain.
Farther up
You understand what I want to do? Okay, look, we gotta decide it, we gotta move on, because we're not seeing
Put them all on this side of the road.
Miss Minnie,
I'm down with that.
wanting to do, you know, honestly, each property owner has their own use of the city right away. Okay, he chooses to have no parking on his side, and I think we're okay, and he's okay with it. On the other side, I'm just asking for some small concession, Mr. DeVille, to
Have
make,
all his parking on his
Now
side
you
of
see,
the
on
road.
his side, that man's stuff.
but, you know, yes.
He understands.
I think there's
Hold on, we gotta say
about
this.
what parking is considered, and Chief maybe can correct me on this. If you're sitting in the vehicle and it's stopped, you're not parked. If you put a vehicle in parking and if you're within a reasonable distance to move that vehicle, you're still not in violation, if I understand correctly.
Yes.
Unless you park on the street and obstruct the traffic.
Right. But if he's parked on the end of that dead-end street and he's standing 10 feet from the truck and somebody walks up and say, "Can you move your truck?" he's not in any kind of violation. And I think that's what Mr. DeVille is trying to say, that every time he's gonna go back there, they're gonna call the cops and write a ticket.
We don't want you to get a ticket, that's not why we're here.
Well,
We
he
just
don't
need
go
to,
there.
you know, it's unfortunate, y'all both neighbors, and I know it's your son
He
who
don't
owns
stay
the
there.
property, but you apparently have some use of it. It's very unfortunate that neighbors are gonna argue, because you get more with sugar than vinegar.
Well,
But
I think what we got right there.
I think that if you could concede a little bit, and if you could concede a little bit, and I know you've been there 30 years, but it's no different if he moved there yesterday, he still has his right of living a comfortable, peaceful life. And the constant bickering is getting nobody, including this council, anywhere. So what I'm asking is, and allowing, and I think the council needs to consider, because y'all make the decision, okay? Whatever y'all decide, we're gonna live by. Giving you no parking on that side, if that makes you happy, that's fine. If you're okay, because he should be okay with it. The only thing is you asking his son-in-law and him to give up a portion of his side of the road, which you've already got, what you want, the whole thing. We're asking him, and you know, I gotta see what he wants to do. If not, the council's gonna act on whatever they think we need to do concerning the ordinance. But if you gave a little bit of your side from the coulee back to the west side, and I want you to visualize that because you've been there a long time, the west side of your side of the road equal to the west side edge of his driveway gravel area, from there to the coulee, which would give him more than enough to back out, even if you're backing the trailer out. If you gave that and would say that you will not park there, and agree not to park there, but not limit you to allow your property entrance and exit, ingress and egress on that far coulee side entrance, we wouldn't stop that. You just couldn't park anything there for any time, okay? But from the sign back to 8th Street, as long as you're not blocking anybody's driveways, we would never ticket you. I think you'll be happy. You'll never call the chief and anyone else again. And look, Mr. DeVille, by giving that much, you maybe could start to mend the fence between y'all, and maybe we could stop all the nonsense. There's too much goes on in the city to have the police called out by either one of y'all, because they have a job to do. And Chief, how many tickets have y'all written out there in that street on Locust concerning parking in a no parking? None. Okay, so that means apparently no one's breaking the law, right?
It's not posted.
Okay, so no one's breaking the law. Okay, and in all fairness to both of y'all property owners, and I'm considering you a property owner for your son-in-law because you're here, both of y'all have equal rights. And to rob the rights from you or the rights from you or give you more justification than him is unfair. But if y'all can compromise tonight, soon, because we're getting ready to move on with this. If you can compromise and both give in a little bit, because you actually wanted it both sides of the road. We can't give you that. That's not going to happen. I can promise you that. I don't think this council will vote that. But on the other hand, if you concede that little bit, we end this, y'all go on, and we should have no more calls. Are you okay with that, Mr. DeVille?
If I want to drive far enough down past that sign and pull off as far as I can Show Road to look at something behind my shop, and as soon as I see what I want, I back out. Am I gonna get stopped off?
No, as long as you're not getting out your truck.
I don't get out,
truck
but
there.
time after time, at 9:30 at night, here comes the cop.
I think that's gonna end, right? Will that end? If we put the sign, and he agrees, we put the sign right under the coulee on that sign, but he does park from the sign to 8th Street as long as he doesn't. Are y'all gonna leave it alone and never call the police or call me again?
We never bothered. Leave it alone. But he's back there, and I got to get out.
I don't think it's gonna happen, because you know what?
He gotta move his vehicle, and he don't move his vehicle.
Mr. St. Julian, if he adheres to where we're gonna pay at our expense, it's not a whole lot of money, put a sign, no parking. If we do that, I don't think you're gonna have a problem. And I don't think, Mr. DeVille, you'll ever have any more, and y'all need to mend y'all fence. I'm too short to argue like y'all.
We used to be neighbors.
Y'all used to be neighbors, it's time to be neighbors again, we need to end this. Okay, we're getting ready to vote on this. What, Mark, you've said what you had to say, you agree with me? And are you in agreement, Mr. DeVille? If not, the council's gonna decide for
that
it.
sign to see something, I don't get out of my vehicle. You're not parking. I'm not parking.
You leave. Okay, so you understand what we could potentially gonna vote on, right? You understand? You okay with it? Mr. DeVille, you okay with it? Okay. All right, we need a motion, because we need a move on. It's been moved by Ms. Minnick, second by Mr. Funny. Y'all do understand what we voted? All in favor? Just say Mr. DeVille, you okay? You all right? You all right with that?
20-something years.
Now, let me tell you. It doesn't matter who it is. Mr. St. Jude, you've gotten what you want. I think it's finished now. I strongly urge you to befriend this man. Mr. DeVille, one day that man could save your life. And you need to befriend him. Y'all need to bury that hatchet.
I can't control who's there. And when you start pushing me,
that's it. Thank you very much. Okay, next. Chief, you understand? Thank you very much, and Mr. DeVille, we appreciate it. You saw y'all just shook hands. I tell y'all to hell, but not in front of all these people. Please consider doing that again. We appreciate y'all coming.
We got an understanding, that's all we need.
We gotta move on. Okay, that's been settled. Chief, you understand, it's all good. Okay. Tab 9. Tab 9, consider recommendations of Planning and Zoning Commission Board. Mr. Damon?
Okay, we have two items. The first item is to consider a recommendation by the Zoning and Planning Board to allow a trailer to be moved on 3rd Street by Miss Vanessa Jollivan, who's present tonight. I did say it right. Okay. She is a thing, I have to say she did it by the hardest, because she but she did get all the, she worked hard on this. She did obtain all the things necessary. And I recommend approving that her variance to put a trailer at lots 1 and 4 of 3rd Street on the corner of South 1st Street be approved by the council.
Moved by Ms. Minix, second by Mr. Gibbons. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes carried. Congratulations. I know you worked real hard at it. Yeah, she got everybody's signature, everything's been done. Mr. DeVille, if you want. We'll give you a city rank. I'm glad you got it done. It's good to bring the neighborhood up. Cleaning it up, by the way, that trail on the other side's gone, it's gonna be gone. And it's gonna be a positive thing for the neighborhood, we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Okay, moving on, number 8, unfinished business, tab 8.
Well, we got one more item.
Oh, you have another one?
Yeah. We have a request by Miss Lolita LeBlanc, who's the daughter of Mr. Willie LeBlanc, to reorient 3 lots on the corner of Bella and Street North. She would like to reorient the lots from the east and west configuration to a north and south configuration to allow the property to put a trailer facing west B north. If you look behind tab 6 of the aerial photo that shows what she's asking to do.
Behind tab 9.
Behind tab 9.
Behind tab 9.
Oh, I'm sorry, I have to go upside down. Tab 9, my bad.
This one.
When I measured the property, and the house that's on the property at this time, it faces west and north, and would be situated on 2 lots, and would meet the setback requirements. We have no issues with that, and it would leave a 40-foot lot to be able to place a mobile home on. We instructed her that she would have to get the lot surveyed and recorded the curb reports, plus get all, because it's in a flood zone, get all the flood elevation certificates and all that. I think she's working on that right now. I recommend to the council that we approve the reorientation of these 3 city lots.
Okay, y'all got any questions?
On that north, it's gonna be facing west when she's gonna do that?
It's a trailer right here, right now. The lots go this way. This is the canal on Bella Street right here. She wants to turn the lots, it's 3 lots, 40 by 120, so the property is 120 by 120. We're just gonna turn the orientation of lots facing this way. So this house will have 2 lots, and there'll be 1 lot here for her to put a trailer on. Correct.
That's in your area.
And the house already faces the north anyway, so it creates no issue.
Do you have any other questions?
See the driveway comes out.
You want to move on?
I'll move on.
We're moving on by Ms. Minnick, second by Mr. Gidry to allow that. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Ayes carried. Okay, anything else, Mr. Daigle, while you have that?
That's it.
Okay, next is tab 8. Tab 8 under 8 is considered demolition project. You have it?
Yeah, we have 5 demolition projects. The first one is 308 Malvern, Miss Claudette LeBlanc. I think she called for this retreat that she was ill and she couldn't make it.
She couldn't come, and she said she don't have a problem in the trailer, but right now the tree is under investigation.
By
details?
The district attorney for the theft that took place there.
This what?
The district attorney still have those charges because of the theft that took place at that trailer. And, yes, that's right, theft. And so it's under investigation still. So y'all may want to check with the DA's office, see if it has been released before anything can be done, tear it down.
With Chief Stelly still?
He just stepped out for a drink. He's coming right back.
Okay, let's wait till he comes back.
Do you have any
other?
with the DA's office in charge?
Cormier, lady, Cormier, what's her name? She's Cormier. Yeah.
Since you don't have a problem with saying it down, what's this release to say?
Chief
Mr. Larry, would you know who to pick? Mr. Larry, would you know who to contact at the DA's office about that?
Probably in it.
I think the simple thing to do, she says she has no problem tearing it down.
Let's move on it.
Give her 90 days from the date that the trailer is released by either the police department or the DA's office.
Right.
Or start the 90 days and extend it in the event that,
Well, started at whenever the mobile home was released.
okay, but is it actually tied up?
It's tied up in the court case right now.
Chief Stelly, what's the address? 308, Malvern. Is that under investigation right now?
I have a case pending involving some burglaries that occurred.
Okay. So is it pending with you or the DA's office?
The district attorney's office.
Okay, so what do we do?
I
mean,
move that we give her 90 days from the date that it's released from the DA's office or from the theft investigation.
Okay.
Do they normally issue a letter when they're done with it or something, or do we have to contact the DA's office?
We could contact the district attorney's office.
Can we put a hold on that?
Well, if it's over, if the investigation's over, how, would you know about that? That it's over, did they notify you that?
Not
the case?
necessarily.
Okay, what we'll do is we can move on it, do what we have to do, and then I'll check or mark it.
I can contact the DA's office
Yeah, to see if they through with it.
When they're done with it, they can notify us and we can start the count.
Okay.
I spoke to her husband out there the other day, and they know it needs to be torn down, you know, it's just,
And this is what she said, she don't have a problem in tearing it down. She said, if I could tear it down, Patrice, she said, I'll have it tore down. She said, but it's under investigation. I didn't go into details to ask her for what or anything. She said, I'm sick. She said, but I will have it tore down.
Yeah, she looked like she was sick. Okay, so either Chief Stelly, you look into it tomorrow to see, and you let Mr. Daigle know, and then we'll start the count from there. So we need a motion.
You have one final.
Motion moved by Mr. Fontenot, second by Mr. Ducey. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, ayes carried. Mr. Daigle, you here?
okay, 303 Malvern. Mr. Clarence Thibodeau on Miss Helen Boutte. The house is pretty much about beyond repair. I would recommend to have it demolished. Do you have any comments?
It's on the same street?
Across the street.
Me and my sister.
Ma'am?
My mama's house. So, yeah,
It's not
my
repairable,
mother's
Miss
house.
Annie?
Yeah, that was my mother's house. We there, me and my sister.
Is it repairable,
Hey,
Mr.
this
Daigle?
the poultry's really bad.
Have you gone in it, or
Well,
are y'all planning on repairing the
house
house? Is it repaired?
I don't know, we gotta check it out. See, I've been running back and forth to the doctor. We're trying to repair. If not, we gotta tear it down.
You
If
wanna
not,
try
we'll
it?
tear it down.
Mr. Daigle, they want to try and repair it?
You know, I'm just trying to prepare to try to put this back into within building codes. It's gonna cost more than it's worth, you know. It's pretty rotten. It's been in the same condition for 2.5 years since I've been here. It's been on the list for a long time. The only thing that's ever been done is the grass has been cut, but no repairs, anything has been done to the house.
Is there any way that they could have it evaluated for potential possible repair? What y'all want to do, or Are you able to repair the house, or you have anybody able to repair the house? Or buy the house and repair the
Give us
house?
some
That's
time.
pretty and well.
Other than that, we
Give
got
us
to
some
move.
time to see, we can't, we'll tear down.
We can give them time to try to get some things, somebody.
If they have a family member that wants to accept the house for repairing it to bring it back up, if not, they'll have to tear it down. You want to give them a period of ability to repair?
Well, they have to come up to us and demonstrate to us what they want to repair.
Yeah.
Can you give us 3 months? Can you give us 3 months?
3 months? So 90 days.
Yeah.
90 days to either begin repairs or
Tear it down.
tear it down. Is that okay? You okay with it?
Yeah, I mean, they would need to come up with some kind of assessment of what they intend to do, you know, because.
Maybe y'all can question Mr. Daigle if y'all choosing to repair instead of tear down. Get with Mr. Daigle, he'll tell you what's required permitting wise and everything else, and if y'all choose to do it, you go forward with that. If not, you're gonna more than likely vote to tear it down.
90 days to assess it.
Motion to give it 90 days.
Okay.
90 days.
For what?
Before they can start getting the demolition or get it repaired. They got 90 days. I give them.
But if you give them 90 days to assess it, and they don't do it, then we gotta bring it back up to demolish it. That's
I think his motion 90 days to either demolish it or start repair.
Yeah, we lost time 2015.
Refer to it or demolish it after 90 days.
You know, technically, when you buy a building permit's good for 6 months. You know, sometimes we've had people in the past that go out there and they'll put 2 sheets of tin on and say they're starting to repair and it drags out. But
Extended period.
Like Malone said.
By ordinance, normally what they would have to do is declare to us in writing what they intend to do. Repair. And once they make those repairs, if they will be acceptable, then we can accept their proposal.
So, are you okay with them getting with you and you assisting them in that?
Well, what they would have to do is maybe get a contract or a family member, somebody come look at it. It's gonna cost you X amount of dollars to fix it up, you know, this is what you're gonna have to do. And then they would propose to me, look, we're gonna rewire, repair, you know, bring the rock forward, put new windows, do whatever you gotta do to try to make it livable. And, you know, that's all their choice. I'm just saying with my construction background, I find it hard to believe it would be feasible.
I think that's what they're trying to say. They want to see if they can afford to repair it. If they don't,
Right.
they can't afford to repair it, they're gonna tear it down.
They may have family members that, because they can do their own repairs up to a certain extent.
Right.
You know, you can do your own repairs. That's legal.
Something.
That's something. As long as it's not commercial.
Well, it's a rental house, it comes.
You gave them away, Mr. Chairman. Everybody knows.
I don't care, me. You know what I mean? But I just can't put straight on the trailer because there ain't nothing wrong with the trailer, really.
The thing about a trailer, the problem I have with a trailer is when you talk to building codes, we can only sell a permit and expect what's being built to, you know, how to state building codes. A trailer is built to a whole different set of codes, which is when they build a trailer in a factory. And we have no jurisdiction, we can't expect that it's not the same code, it was built as a temporary means of housing. Once they exhaust that time frame and they get beyond repair, I can't sell them a permit, I can't expect anything. It's almost disposable. I have no clue.
Like, this old trailer, don't get me wrong, man, but I had it up to date and everything, you know what I'm saying? They was all doing it, still, my little cousin and mama was living in it, Teresa Richard. She moved out behind my back, I didn't know nothing about it. She let Kaufman live in it. When I found out about it, I went over there and I pressed charge on him to get him out of my trailer because I didn't want him in my trailer because I know what he would do with the trailer.
Mr. Romero, for it being repairable, like you're saying, just looking at these pictures, I see a bunch of holes. The air conditioner was on the front, it's open, it's raining in there.
No, it's not raining in there because I got it all
No,
set
it
up.
hadn't rained in 2 weeks, but it will rain. That side, the window's gone, the door is
But I
wide
fixed that
open.
window.
Huh?
The window's fixed now.
Okay, and the door's
But that's
wide
what-
open.
The door went open though,
It's
that's
open
what I'm
now?
saying, they broke into it.
So anything's open, it's raining in there.
Right, but I
And
got everything shut
animals,
down.
people, and,
I got everything shut down now. You know, everything's closed up. Nobody
this
can
is
get
the
in.
problem we have, Mr. Romero. We had a fire on, is it Lyman Street or Reynolds?
Nothing wrong with the trailer.
We had a fire in the city limits, same situation as this. People were living, and I don't say anybody lives here, they were living
I got
in
somebody
the
always
trailer
texting me.
with no utilities, and it burnt. And a lady next door who had no insurance, unfortunately, lost her home. That was a family home. So this is a hazard to the community and the neighborhood.
Right, I
If
understand
this
that.
thing burns, it's gonna affect other people that may not have the ability to have insurance, which is not fair for them to
Well, I
have
got
to be
somebody wanting to
subjected
rent
to
it
that.
now though, that's what I'm saying, but I want to do a little bit of repairs on it, that holding that closet.
You wouldn't consider moving this somewhere else,
No,
like out of town?
I don't have no property stuff, where the hell you want me to put it?
You still have a record business?
I used to work for them.
Could you borrow their record and do it? I mean, it saves you from tearing it down. I just, it's hard to leave this, but the council doesn't decide, but it's hard to
But I got
leave.
somebody want to rent it though, that's what I'm saying.
It's gonna be a lot of work before you can rent that.
How long has it been unoccupied?
About 3 months, 2
That's
months.
all?
That's it.
With all this that damage after it?
When did you do the work? When did you do the work?
Couple months maybe before, maybe I even rent it, man, you know what I mean? I put all new floors in it.
Wait a minute, these pictures were taken last week.
Right.
There ain't no way you did any work on them.
The window right there, the front door.
Mark.
That window there, the bus got me open. But that was my air conditioner, somebody put the air conditioner on there.
How often do you check?
My mama's house. I live right here in the but my mama lives with me. And my mama can't see about my wife at the same time. You know what I mean?
We gave a bunch of-
You know what I'm saying? But I was actually working for my wife when we was and my mama called. My mama called too.
I got it. How you doing?
More than the last
See, you got still.
You have a house.
All right.
So that's responsible for the service. I have the right to enter the house. And you be amazed at the things. But a trailer, because you can't sell your permit, you can't inspect it, there's nothing I can really, even if he makes a repair, you can't inspect it. I can't tell you if it's right or wrong.
I don't got no, when they Christian problem, I just got poor problem, and that's the whole cutting the floor.
Same with plumbing or the building or whatever. Whenever we allow a trailer to come to town, because it's brand new or it's within 10 years old and it's been inspected by a factory, all we're doing is providing utilities to that structure. You know, when it gets something in this bad, or, you know, it needs to be done.
And I got somebody cut the, but the grass, they started cutting the grass today for me.
Because the grass is a problem too.
And not to say anything, but I mean, you gotta understand, the last 2.5 years, I've gotten so many complaints about this trailer court.
You got complaints about this trailer before?
Well,
Not this trailer.
one right behind it.
Right, the one behind it,
Being torn down.
and the one in the front of it.
And then when this one became abandoned, this one got rolled up, and probably the ones all next to it could be on the list next.
Is that Murphy Car and Trailer Park?
Yeah.
There's a bunch of them in there that's bad. Almost 50% of them in terrible shape. Really bad shape.
So give me a little time, man, you know, then maybe finish the repairs, you know, I got skirters to put on it, I got a new door to put on the door because they busted, but they broke the other door, the arm door that I broke into it, they took the door. And I got another door to put on it, but I got a door on it now, but it's not permanent because I'm redoing the whole door now.
Y'all got any questions?
So how long is it gonna take to repair it?
At least 2 months.
What happens after 2 months if it's not
It could be a
repaired?
minute.
What happens after 2 months if it's not repaired, we get demolished?
Yeah. Y'all can just monitor.
Mark, I
after
got
2
a
months.
question. If the council does allow him to repair, and if he does, is it something that before we turn power and water, you would go inspect? How about if he allows you to go
If I allow you to
inspect?
come in and inspect my water,
Because you know what happened on Reynolds alignment, we lost 2 homes. That one, which should have been tore down, and the lady's home, and she lost her house, and it was paid for with no insurance, unfortunately. So, what do you recommend, and, because we need to move on, I mean, what's your recommendations?
You know,
Hearing what you heard.
I feel for his situation, I really do. And most people who end up here for this situation kind of have a similar story, and I feel terrible. But, I mean, we've got so many complaints about that trailer park. People have begged us to do something about it. This is the second trailer we ride up, and it's on a list of a few more that's going to be.
There's over 50% that's terrible. Things.
I don't think it's right to ride up the trailer right behind it, and this one is just as bad.
Y'all got any questions? Because we need to move on something. Yes,
Can
sir.
the city, can the fire marshal, state fire marshal, because it's a fire issue, come inspect it if
Well,
you got any?
you know, the trailer on Reynolds had no utilities on it, none. And they had people squatting in there, they were living in there, they were cooking in there, and doing whatever else in there. And one night, it caught on fire and it burnt that trailer and burned a really nice home next to it. It was in good shape. And the lady didn't have insurance, so it caused a hazard. Grass was tall, but that wasn't the problem. The fact is, those trailers go up really fast, and you have no opportunity sometimes to get out.
In 60 days, he comes to Mark and says, look, I'm ready to turn my electricity on, you know, because I got up to reasonable
I don't know
code.
the law
Can
on
the
that,
fire
Mark.
marshal, even though Mark can't do it, can you call the state fire marshal in and make sure he's wiring everything, you know?
And you know the other
I
thing,
just wondered if
Mr.
that was
LaMelo,
something to it,
I hate, you work hard for your money, I've been knowing you all along. Ever since we lived, we were neighbors. But when I was growing up, we were neighbors. This is the problem. You really have to go walk through that trailer. You say it has a hole in the floor, I see it has holes in the walls, the windows. Do you really want to continue working really hard for your money? And I don't know what you do now, I know you're in the record business. Work that hard and try and repair something that at some point we still may have to make you tear it down? That's the problem. You're gonna waste hard-earned money to make something that won't pass to be able to turn utilities. That's the first problem. Second problem is if we allow you an extension based on you saying what you're gonna do, and we would hope that you would do what you say and say what you do, and someone loses their life or their home because of that trailer, it would be terrible, the council to have to come back here.
And I would travel every night from my house to there, about 10:30, 11, maybe 12 o'clock at night. I would go walk in there and make sure nobody was in there.
But it's gonna get old,
And that's
just like it's getting
and that's
old, let's
where-
look at
That's
it.
where the problem comes in, Joe, because
I
we can't sell a permit, we can't inspect it, I don't see how we can ever turn electricity back on.
I don't want him to spend his hard-earned money and come back here and say, you know, I did everything I said I'd do, and y'all won't give me power. Because that would be devastating to him. I mean, he works hard for his money. And I just don't want you to waste your money and it still not be able to be hooked up and be safe for the neighbors. Because it's unfair to them and it's unfair to you and it's definitely unfair to the city. That trailer park, unfortunately, has deteriorated to the point where over 50% of them need to go away. And we have to start one at a time, and it's unfortunate. Some people, that's all they have to live in, but you know what? There's assisted living housing and everything else that, you know, we can maybe try and get them into, but, you know, at some point, and we have to follow the inspector's recommendations, and council's gonna have to vote on it, and we gotta move on, because we'll be here all night. That's what we asked the council. Y'all wanna,
You gotta understand that.
where y'all wanna go with this? Because we need to move on. Huh? Demolish. Okay, so,
You done got that?
repair and demolish or demolish?
She voted on it?
Okay. It's been moved by
She said
Mr.
demolish.
Fontenot and then demolish it within 90 days. I need a second. Second by Mr. Ducey. Then they demolish in 9 days. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes carried.
So I got to tear down in 9 days.
Or move it off. It's probably easier to move it off.
Where? You got the property now?
No, I don't.
I'm charging them. No, I don't want them to charge me.
Down, so, I mean, I'll move it. It's easier to move it. I can tell you that than tearing it down. Okay, all right. What else, Mr. Davis? Okay, that's it? Okay, we move it on. Hold on, we're almost through, hopefully. Number 9, Police Department. Consider a request by Chief Stelly. I have a letter here that was submitted to me by Troy Bryant Menard. It says to Chief Carol Stelly, I, Troy Bryant Menard, is resigning as of August 3rd, 2015 from the Rayne Police Department due to family problems and health issues. And it was a pleasure working with all the staff at the Rayne Police Department. Sorry for the inconvenience. Sincerely, Troy Bryant Menard. So the council, he's got a letter of resignation, and I guess what we have to do? Yes, sir.
He submitted this letter to y'all after the fact. On Monday, August 3rd, I was contacted by Officer Troy Menard by phone requesting to meet with me. Upon meeting with Officer Menard, during our conversation, he admitted to me that he was involved in some felony activity. At that time, I advised him he was terminated from the police department. I contacted you, Mayor Robichaud, of what had happened. After that, I contacted Chief Deputy Keith Lachele with the Katy Parish Sheriff Department and requested that his office conduct an investigation into the matter, which is underway at this time. So my recommendation to the council would be to uphold the termination.
So don't accept his resignation.
Correct.
And accept his termination by you. The charge is pending, or they're?
Correct. Investigation is ongoing.
And with those charges, there's no chance of him ever working here again. You never have him back. So, Mr. Larry, being the guy resigned, and the chief saying he wants to terminate him as of the 3rd. Yeah, he terminated him, so we have to accept his termination or resignation or both.
You accept it, I would accept the chief's recommendation.
To terminate.
Termination.
Okay. And he can never work here again. So, do you have any questions?
I have a question.
You have any questions?
I have a question.
Jeff.
Yes, ma'am.
She
Yes.
have a question.
Yes, yes.
I'm just curious why this officer's name wasn't added to the agenda and this item wasn't added to the agenda with specificity, so that people would know what you were going to talk about here today. Instead of just putting it on here as a request for the chief, if you're going to be speaking directly about one of your employees, it has to be on the agenda. So I'm a little confused about how you can even bring this up. Nobody voted to put it on there.
By Chief Carol Stelly. Mr. Larry?
It was on the agenda.
Okay.
Yeah.
It has to be described specifically.
It's on the agenda.
She's asking a question. Ma'am, I don't know who she
can't hear
is.
you.
Ma'am,
Yeah.
Mr. Larry, he's the city attorney. He can answer that.
I mean, I know what the law is. I know what it is. So I don't need to ask an attorney. If you're gonna hire, fire, discipline, or promote someone, and it's a city employee, you need to list it with specificity, not just consider a recommendation in general by a chief of police. So I don't know how this even got brought up on the agenda without specifically mentioning and giving notice to your citizens of being.
We had notice posted on the door and we turned it.
I looked at the notice. It doesn't have the officer's name on it. It doesn't say you're taking employee action. It just says consider a random recommendation by the chief. It doesn't say that you're considering a termination. It doesn't say that you're approving some sort of a employee action. It says that you're taking a recommendation from the chief. But for the fact that nobody here knew who you were going to be talking to.
We knew.
Well, sir, if you're going to advertise a meeting and you're not going to list things with specificity and you're not going to be open with your government here, how would anybody know that that's what you were going to talk about to even come to the meeting? Is what I'm asking.
And it's the statute says that the council is considered recommendation by the chief as far as hiring, firing, or disciplining officers. He's made a recommendation. It's up to the council to vote for.
And that's what we're doing, right?
Right.
So what she's saying is that,
I'm not familiar with the law she's citing.
do you know what law that is, ma'am? I don't even know what she is. What's your name?
It's the Louisiana Open Meetings Law.
What
And my
was
name
your
is Teresa Richard.
Miss Teresa, what law are you citing to Mr. Richard? And he's wanting to know what
I just
law.
told you, it's the Open Meetings Law, the Louisiana Open Meetings Law, which says that you have to list things with specificity for your agenda. Number one, you didn't even advertise the meeting correctly because I couldn't find it on your website, and that's required. So you never posted the agenda properly to begin with. And then I look over here, you got it posted, and you're going to take an employee action, which I'm finding out myself right now. But you haven't listed that on the agenda. And so I'm just saying, you're not being very transparent here with the citizens, with anyone here. Well, this isn't. Thank you.
Thanks. Okay, any other questions?
What was the charge? What is the charges? That your opinion?
Prosecuted. I mean, that's not all.
I don't know if can you.
The sheriff department is actually conducting an investigation, and once the warrants are signed and that, then it'll become public records. It's involving juveniles, and that's why I'm at liberty to say, and I'm actually going to even testify in the case.
My Lord.
Any other questions?
I'm good, thank you.
If somebody knows, just stand up and say what it is.
Yeah, just accept the resignation and be done with it.
Can't do it.
Yes, sir.
He's been terminated. We go ahead and table this, give him an opportunity to research what she's talking about, the open meetings
Okay.
law, and we can bring it up at the next meeting.
He has no ability to come back to work.
He shouldn't have the ability to come back
Right
in the
now,
first place.
until prosecution even, right? You're not gonna accept that, are you? So,
Getting out of the hospital, right?
you suggested a table?
Suggest to bring it back next week.
Okay, we'll bring it back next week. Okay. Mr. Lyra suggested that we motion to lay it on the table until the next meeting. Okay, it's been moved by Mr. Fondo, second by Mr. Ducey. All in favor, say aye. Opposed, ayes captain. Okay, so next, we have consider liquor permits. Do we have any? Ms. Katir, do we have any? Okay. Number 11, written communications. We have none. So number 12, reports.